and welcome back to Need for Speed Heat for another video. This time taking a look at the 3 starter cars in the game to see which one's best. I know it's been out for a little while yet so far, so yeah, a little bit slow bringing this one out. But yes, to start with, interestingly, they're very different prices when you go to buy them from the dealership here. So the Mustang's 23.5 and is level 101 with 1.2 power, 1 on the top speed, 1 on acceleration and 2 on nitro. The next car we come to is, if it'll load in, the 180SX, which is 43,500, is level 125, so considerably higher than the Mustang. 1 on power, 1.7 on top speed, 1.5 on acceleration, and 2 on nitro. Don't worry, I will put all these stats into a table that I'll put up on screen at the end of the video. I'm going to put all the stats up and the times we manage round some of the time trial courses that I want to take the cars around. So I'll put a table of everything at the end so you can compare properly the 3 cars, and we can take a sort of overview picture at what is best overall rather than just at one thing. So anyway, that's the Nissan. And the third vehicle is, of course, the M3, the one I went for, which I thought was the best. This is level 123, so it's actually lower than the Nissan. Wait, 123. Nissan is 125, yeah, so the Nissan's 2 higher, and the Mustang's kind of nowhere. This is the way it kind of seems to be. The muscle car option's always the lowest performing. It's cool, but the lowest performing. Same in Forza, the Dodge Charger was way below the other 2 options. Anyway, yeah, 123 the BMW, 1 on power, 1.6 on top speed, 1.4 on acceleration, and 2 on nitro. So anyway, I'm gonna go and buy myself one of each of these. We're going to be keeping them entirely stock for this video. And yeah, I need to find some challenges and time trial courses to test the vehicles. So, as it is the lowest level on the stats page, we're going to start with the Mustang for each of the challenges. I will run all 3 cars at a challenge before we move on to the next one. But the first thing I wanted to try out was a simple top speed test. So we're going to begin with the Mustang, and then jump on to the 2 other cars. So I'm going to use the nitro just to get us off to a bit of a start, which I will do in all 3 cars to keep it nice and fair. But let's see what the entirely stock Mustang can do. I've not even done the visual mods on any of these cars, leaving them entirely as they are. The only thing I've changed on the 3 of them is the number plates, which you've probably already noticed. But yes, here we go, Mustang. I'm going to take them all on the same bit of road, so it's fair. Don't worry that it's uphill. I'm not going to use any more boost, because that would kind of get the car over its top speed, I kind of feel like. And to reach it under its own power. It seems like the highest we can hit is 103. Like I said, it is uphill, but they're all going to be uphill, so I think we'll take the speed on this flat bit. Yeah, 108. I'm going to go with 108. Right. Let's get the BMW out, because that's the next in terms of stat level, number, whatever. So yeah, we'll go Mustang, M3, and then Nissan. That's the order we're going to run them on these challenges. But yeah, 108 for the Mustang. No idea if that's good, but let's bring the BMW out. So here we are in the M3. We appear to have been joined by a BMW friend with some strange wheels. But anyway, 108 miles per hour is the speed the Mustang reached. So that's what we're trying to beat here in the M3. Yeah, beep beep. Anyway, let's head off. We're going to hit the boost to start with to get us going. And yeah, we'll see what we're doing underneath the bridge, whether we hit 108 like the Mustang. I would have thought this would be quicker, but this guy is going to somewhat get in the way, I think. Maybe not. Oh, 120 already. Smashed the Mustang. It's not looking good for the Mustang here. It's lower stat, which we're expecting it not to be so good given its level. But yeah, it's not doing well so far. We'll see how it compares to the Nissan. What are we doing here on the flat? 125. So these probably all could reach higher with a bit of extra boost on the downhill. But to keep it fair, if we take that speed from the same place. Yeah, 125 for the BMW. Let's go and get the Nissan and see how that fares. So, here we have the Nissan, the highest rated of the three cars. I should have actually double checked in terms of speed what they all say, but this test will kind of tell us that anyway, and like I say at the end I'll put everything together. So the stats on paper and what it's actually managed. But anyway, third car, top speed run. Let's see what we can reach in the Nissan. How are we doing? 90. There's the 100. 125 to beat. That's what the BMW managed. Struggling up the hill. Not going to use the extra boost because we didn't in the other cars. As fair as possible. Don't hit me, anybody. That was a bit scary. I could have just redone it if something happened, but... Right, how are we doing? 115, 114, what are we going to take on the flat bit here? 122. So it's very close. It's going to be very close between these two, I think, and the Mustang's going to be way off the pace, which makes sense given the levels. But yeah, it's very similar to Forza. They throw a muscle car in there as one of your options. For those of you that don't know, in Forza Horizon 4, the options are a Ford Focus RS, a Dodge Charger, and an Audi TT RS. So the TT and the Focus are fairly similar in terms of stats, and then the Charger's way off. It's actually C class, where the other two are A class, I believe. So it's quite a way off the pace of them. But yes, the Nissan manages 122, just off the BMW's 125, and quite far ahead of the Mustang's 108. So yeah, we're going to get back into the Mustang now and go and find a time trial to take on. So we're here at the Break or Break time trial in the Mustang, which you might remember is the course we actually used to test out the KS edition cars. So yeah, kind of most familiar with this course out of all the time trials, plus it's the closest to the garage. So yeah, seemed like the best place to test these three. Obviously we're not going to be beating the 54.6 set by the Lotus, and for these I'm not going to use any boost in any of the cars. Keep it fair, because otherwise I'd have to make sure I was using the boost in the same places and whatnot. So yeah, just to keep it fair, I'm not going to use boost at all. I'm going to be very slow in the Mustang because it just doesn't like turning. Cool, these cars feel so slow. I haven't driven anything this low. Well, I don't think I have at all, because I went for the BMW as the first car, and the clonk of wall a little bit there. Yeah, I went for the BMW as the first car, which is obviously a higher level than this. Oh dear. Yeah, you'll have to excuse my atrocious driving, but that's going to be the same in all three cars, so it shouldn't affect the times. And let's be honest here, the Mustang's not really a contender. As we all know, Mustangs are only good at doing one thing. Let's not mention that though, it'll upset Mustang fans. and it's going to cross the line at a 1:19.82. So that's the benchmark time. Let's see what the BMW can do. So, at the time trial, in the second car, in the M3, I'm trying to think of a third challenge actually at this point. We've done top speed, I'm going to do the time trial. I'm trying to think whether to do a race, or a drift event or something. We'll see. Anyway, here we go, in the BMW M3. Can't actually remember off the top of my head what the Mustang did. So I'll check that at the end, see, at the end of this run, see how far ahead or behind we are. I mean, this should beat the Mustang by quite a margin. Obviously the Lotus is tearing off in the distance there, the ghost of that. And we're going to cross the line at a 1:07.34, and the Mustang did a 1:19.83, so quite substantially faster. Time to see what the Nissan can do. So, time for third vehicle to take on the time trial. Nissan. Let's see how it does. I have actually decided the third challenge is going to be a drift run, so we'll go and equip the cars with speed cross, suspension and tyres and stuff, and then see how they do. That's going to be all I do to them, not add any power or anything. But yes, 1:07 I think the BMW did, something around there, is the time we've got to beat, which is not going to happen if I do that. Or that. But I think I've made equal numbers of mistakes, to be honest, and everything, so it's not really going to affect it too much. I do still find it a little bit random on this game where your car actually drives compared to the inputs you give it, but sort of a bit floaty. I haven't adjusted the tuning on any of these, by the way, as well as the performance. And it's a 1:08.1 for the Nissan, so it loses out to the M3 again. I mean, they're very similar level. There's only 2 points in it, so it's not the worst thing in the world for the M3 to beat it. But there we go, 1:08.13. Time to set these up for some drifting. So, the speed cross parts have been fitted, pro level speed cross tyres and speed cross suspension on all three cars. Come to this drift zone inside the Palm City Raceway, I think it's called, see what we can do. Now, if you've watched videos on here, you'll know I'm not the best at drifting on Need for Speed, plus these are very, very low powered cars, so we'll see what we can do. But I'm not expecting great things from these. Really not enough power to be drifting. No. Basically, I don't think any starter car completely stock is going to be any good at drifting. 9:886 for the Mustang. Let's see what the M3 can do. So we line up in the M3, the same event. 9886 to beat. Off we go. Can the BMW that's a little bit quicker than the Mustang get more points? Probably. I mean, realistically the Nissan should win this one, but we'll see. I mean, it's all a bit random because I'm not brilliant at drifting, so... But still, the BMW is going to take 14,090. Quite a lot better than the Mustang. So, let's see if the Nissan can better 14,090. So, here we are in the Nissan. Third car to take on the drift zone, and 14,090 to beat. So let's go and see if this can beat the M3. I'd have thought this would be the best drift car here, but not necessarily if it doesn't have enough power to get the drifts done. Oh, there we go, I've already beaten the M3. I mean, it is the third run, so I've got my eye in a little bit more, but still. The car is a lot nicer. 22,474, enough for a star. So if you want to do drifting, this is the car to go for. But yeah. Not a bad run. So, yeah, there we go, end of the final test. And the Nissan came out on top of this one. So, we return to the garage. I've put all three cars' stats into a table along with the results from the 3 tests. So that'll go up on screen somewhere here. And I've highlighted in green where it's the best of the 3. If you like. So the only thing the Mustangs won on is the power at 1.2 rather than 1, whatever that means, because that's not in terms of horsepower. But yeah, the stats aren't really the important thing. The important thing is how it actually performed out there in the Need for Speed world, because in the end, that's what you're going to be using it for. But yeah, in terms of stats, when you just look at the cars, it looks as if the Nissan's the best. Is 125 rated overall, 1.7 takes the best high speed, and 1.5 takes the best acceleration. But that's not what we found out on the road, where the BMW accelerated up to that 125 first. It reached 125 at the point where we were taking the speed. So the BMW actually won that test. So yeah, the only test, well, you can see 2 tests were won by the BMW, the speed test and the time trial, and 1 test was won by the Nissan, which was the drift trial. Nothing won by the Mustang, so you can write off buying that if you want a good first car, unless you're going to put a lot of money into upgrading it, or you're going to quickly move on to something else. Yeah, don't go for the Mustang. Because yeah, it fell quite a way short in the 2 tests, well, in all 3 tests, to be honest. And even in stats-wise, you can tell it's not a good car. So yeah, definitely don't go for that. Unless you're a particular fan of muscle cars, in which case you're not going to be watching this video anyway, because you're going to have already decided which car to take. But yeah, stats-wise, the Nissan seemed to be best, and did do the best in the drift run. But performance-wise, as we saw, the BMW had it. The BMW did beat the Nissan, which I knew at the beginning, which is obviously why I picked the BMW. No, I didn't. I just thought the BMW would be best of the 3. That was just my sort of gut feeling, so that's why I took that at the beginning. But yeah, if you're going to be using it for drifting more than anything else, go for the Nissan. And even where the BMW did beat it, it wasn't by very much, so the Nissan is another viable option if you don't want the M3 for whatever reason. But yeah, like I said, the Mustang's just nowhere close. It's almost exactly like it was on Forza, with a Charger way off the two sports cars, basically. Well, hot hatch and sports car, and muscle car. Yeah, so the muscle car's never the one to go for in these games, it seems. Which kind of makes sense. It's a much older car, much slower car, has less gears. It's just not going to be as good as it's so much older. But yeah, I would say the BMW M3 wins that. It won 2 out of 3 tests. If we ignore the stats, which shouldn't really matter, it should be about what it can actually do. So yeah, the speed and acceleration stats don't make a lot of sense to me, because the Nissan says it's better, but it wasn't. So yeah, I don't know where it gets that from. They're all the same on Nitro, they all have 2 for that, because they all have the same thing stock. But yeah, I'd say the M3 wins, which is what I would have guessed at the beginning, which is why I took it, so I've basically wasted all of your time. But anyway, yeah. M3 takes the top step, I'd say, on that challenge. Nissan in a very close second, so I would also not recommend, but if you're going to take something else, take the Nissan, and then the Mustang is way off, so don't go near that. Unless you're completely mad. But there we go. I've left the stats up on screen long enough now, so you've had time to look at them while I'm going on about them, so you can make what you want out of those. Yeah. But there we go. That's a look at the 3 starter cars in Need for Speed. Sorry it's taken me so long to make a video on what the best starting car is, because by now most of you probably already have the game if you're going to get it. But if you are about to get Need for Speed, or you've just got Need for Speed, there you go. The M3 is the car to go for. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video here on Need for Speed Heat. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.